Bitcoin may feel like it exploded overnight, but for early backers of the cryptocurrency, this wasn't exactly so, especially for those individuals who may have sold too early or even lost their stake completely. Let's take a look at some of the poor souls who lost millions in Bitcoin, either entirely by accident or out of impatience. Today's video was done in collaboration with crypto coin consultants. Stay tuned to see more. Number 6. James Howells. Imagine the feeling of losing $150 million in a single day. That's exactly what happened to IT worker James Howells. The icing on the cake is that he knows exactly where his 7,500 bitcoins are, but city council won't allow him to search for them, since it's technically against the law to go scavenging through the local landfill. Howells began mining for Bitcoin way before it blew up in 2009, and by 2013, he stopped mining and the laptop he used was broken into parts, then sold on eBay for some quick cash. He kept his laptop's hard drive hoping to one day make some money off of Bitcoin, but while cleaning his home, he accidentally put it into a wastebasket at the local landfill in South Wales, where it was ultimately buried. This means that when Bitcoin was at its peak of nearly $20,000, he basically threw away $150 million worth of Bitcoin. The council won't allow Howells to try to retrieve his hard drive since it's been 4 years, and they deem it too risky to attempt to unearth it. In addition, it would be extremely costly, and even if the hard drive was actually found, the risk of toxic waste surrounding it would have been too great. Number 5. Darren McFadden. NFL star Darren McFadden lost out on a multi-million-dollar Bitcoin fortune through a fraudulent investment of his ex-business manager. McFadden retired from the NFL after 10 seasons at just 30 years old and ended up suing Michael Vick, not the NFL quarterback, but rather his former business manager, for a sum of $15 million. He said his money was mishandled throughout his career, and he even lost out on a $3 million Bitcoin-related business venture due to Vick's irresponsibility. That $3 million would have been worth well over $200 million at its peak in December of 2017. His money manager even used McFadden's cash to subsidize his own lifestyle and expenses, while also investing in his own future projects without McFadden's consent. McFadden said Vick was an old family friend whom he trusted from the get-go with his finances, but unfortunately he was young and naive, and the man took advantage of him and robbed him of millions of dollars throughout his career. Number 4. Campbell Simon. Gizmodo Australia editor of technology Campbell Simon said he unknowingly threw out a portable hard drive 7 years ago, which today would have held $4.8 million worth of Bitcoin. The writer says he ended up missing out on incredible riches after his $25 worth of Bitcoin ended up skyrocketing in price. Unfortunately, he tossed out the hard drive too soon, without considering how it could one day turn into something worthwhile. Simon said he had no idea Bitcoin would be worth so much, since it was difficult to find a place to use a cryptocurrency when he purchased it. He used his hard drive to store pirated music and movies, as well as a portfolio for his tech articles. Upon moving homes, he ended up throwing the hard drive away. On the bright side, he's shown a positive attitude towards his mistake and took it as a learning lesson, saying he's happy with his life right now and that he won't try to retrieve the lost Bitcoin. Number 3. The anonymous Redditor's cautionary tale. There's a popular Reddit post circulating the internet that goes something like this. An anonymous user had been margin trading for around a year and ended up turning 3 Bitcoin into 200 Bitcoin, which would have been around $4 million during its peak. He got greedy, and so, instead of closing and being happy with his 300 Bitcoin, he kept trying to increase the size of his holdings until the entire thing was almost diminished, being worth only $12,000. He tried trading it back up, but kept losing until his holdings were at 0. Number 2. Mt. Gox. Another big name in the cryptocurrency world is Mark Capellas, who is a former head of the world's biggest Bitcoin exchange. He almost made out with $859 million of his customers' funds, but Japanese police arrested him in connection with the loss of 1 million Bitcoins from the Mt. Gox exchange. That meant Mark Capellas lost Bitcoins that would have been worth $387 million at the time and were considered the world's most valuable cryptocurrency. Japanese authorities managed to recover about 200,000 lost bitcoins, and they were set aside to settle claims with former Mt. Gox customers. But bankruptcy court filings suggested the 25,000 Mt. Gox creditors who filed claims would have to receive the recovered bitcoins in yen and at the 2014 bitcoin price, which, as we all know, was definitely not the highest value. Karpeles will basically make out with a large majority of the recovered bitcoin. One person by the name of Paul Wassensteiner said claims are limited to a maximum of $480, meaning Karpeles will make even more money from his robbery than initially thought. Many of his former employees disagree with the way he was running Mt. Gox, saying he was a maverick of sorts, but also had the ego of someone who wanted to prove themselves. Members of the Bitcoin community were especially critical of Karpeles. Some went as far as to call him a disgrace, including Gavin Anderson, chief scientist of the Bitcoin Foundation. Karpeles and Anderson were on the board of the Bitcoin Foundation together, but after the Mt. Gox scandal, Karpeles was forced to resign. Number 1. Coincheck. Coincheck is one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges to date, but as we know, much of the cryptocurrency world is at risk for cybersecurity issues. Coincheck Inc. was one such cybersecurity target. It was also one of the largest heists in history in regards to digital tokens. It wasn't Bitcoin that was stolen, but rather an obscure coin called NEM that was taken. This hack raises questions around the world on how to protect and keep cryptocurrency safe once they've been purchased. The Coincheck exchange had to halt sales and currency withdrawals, and even ended up restricting dealings with most other cryptocurrencies. Coincheck president Koichiro Wada apologized to customers, saying the customer may have to seek financial assistance. This news was a large blow, considering the fact that Coincheck had become one of Asia's leading Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchanges. What was discovered behind the Coincheck hack was it was an inside job. The company said there was a potential security lapse, allowing the thief to seize a large sum of customers' assets that were stored in what's known as a hot wallet, a wallet whose coins are connected to external networks. Most exchanges keep their funds in cold wallets, meaning they aren't connected to the outside world and are less vulnerable to hacks and cybersecurity threats. Coincheck also lacked multi-signature security, which requires multiple sign-offs before funds can be moved. The value of funds stolen reached around $500 million in total. Hey guys, I'm Angelo. Many of you may know me as the face of the channels They Will Kill You and Bored Badger. I've recently delved into the world of cryptocurrencies and I'm excited to bring you our brand new channel, Crypto Coin Consultants. Today I'll be teaching you a bit about Bitcoin. What other coin to start out with and the granddaddy of them all, right?